fall in Pennsylvania and we love it here. The trees are looking beautiful and I'm with Lori, my sister-in-law, and my mama, and little Frankie. Say hi, Frankie. Hello. Dressed in his PJs.
Well, he heard it was casual day, so he put his little flannels on. You know, we're outside. You have to stay bundled up. That's the nice thing about the fall. It's nice and crisp. You get to wear layers, and it's still warm out, but you know, we have a lot of holidays and everything coming up too.
I know, you never know what to, we always talk about, we never know what to wear. You dress in layers, you have sweaters and sweatshirts in your car, and you have flip-flops and boots in your car too.
Right, always a different outfit for every hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I changed already twice today, and I know that it's allergy season, so you have the sinuses, you have the water, the clearing the throat, the whole bit, right, Laurie?
Yes, I've been experiencing it for a few weeks now myself, so yeah, it's a little annoying, but I'll take it. It's okay, because I do enjoy the fall. I love all pumpkins and sunshine and everything else about it, so it's good.
Walking your puppies around Brook Hill.
Walking our puppies, yes. They're getting ready for Halloween. We have to come up with our costumes this year.
You dogs kill me. They have the outfit, like the whole wardrobe. They have like the little outfits for the day, the pajamas like Frankie over here.
Yes, they have their jammies.
What are they wearing for Halloween?
We're not sure yet.
It's a secret.
We're thinking maybe a bumblebee. Well, we'll see. We have a few options.
But they're very well behaved and trained. You know that they come from a family of video because they will smile, and you'll see some of the photos. They just always smile, and it cracks me up every time I see their picture.
They're
just
happy
like
dogs.
perfect professional pictures.
How's Gucci doing?
Well, he's doing well. He probably, I don't know if he needs a costume this year. Last year he was a hot dog. And this year he looks like a poodle, even though he's a Bichon, because I had to take him to U of P to have some tests done, and they shaved his belly and up the sides. So he sort of has this really unusual hairdo, and he has a bald belly. So like Frankie over here, how he's bald, that's how Gucci is on his whole belly and up the sides. But he's doing pretty good. If ever you need to go somewhere for additional testing, which I hope you never do, we take care of our dogs like we do our children. So we took him to U of P. He had several tests done. Thank goodness nothing serious. So we're waiting the outcome of some tests. But, you know, they are our little babies. We have to take care of them.
That's right. They depend on us to care for them. Once you have an animal, it's for life, not for just for now.
Well, my fish are fine. I don't know what they're going to be yet. Their names change monthly, but I think our two beta fish, we're still working on their costumes, but I'll fill you in when I know. Maybe they'll be like glow in the dark something something.
Have you fed them lately?
Yes, they get fed 1 pellet a day, and they're very well behaved.
Oh my God.
That's good. So there you go. I'm more about pumpkins and the gourds and the pumpkin seeds because I'm a big fan. You know, I go through all these pumpkins. I want the kids to carve pumpkins so that I can make the seeds for them, and then they get to pick what kind of seasonings they want on them. But I love pumpkin seeds. So if any of you out there are gutting your pumpkins and you throw it out, save me the seeds because I'll eat them all.
They are tasty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess today you're wondering why we have a little puppy, Frankie, here on my lap. And he and some other special puppies and dogs and animals here where we're at today, the Country Heart Farms. We are going to take you around and show you everything that they do here because we not only take care of animals, but they take care of us as well. And if you've never seen it, I'm sure that you're going to find the show very, very interesting. It's right here in Stockton, Pennsylvania. We're going to meet the owner and founder of it. And make sure you stay with us because when we come back, you'll get to meet her.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're watching The Girls on SSP TV, ssptv.com, and the app. Don't forget to download it today. It is free. It's one of my favorite times of the year. It's fall, and we're here at the Country Heart Farm. We're with a familiar face. She's been on The Girls before. We have with us Patty Hudson, but in a different kind of position. This is your nonprofit that we're here, and we're happy to be here with you to learn all about how you're healing people with animals. So thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
So Patty, tell us a little bit about how did you get started doing this? I mean, it's such a wonderful nonprofit, so tell us a little bit about the history here at Country Heart Farm.
Actually, it started probably about 20 years ago. At the time, I didn't realize that it was a therapeutic intervention. It was just something that we've always had animals and pets growing up. And then when I raised my own family, I had a son who was born profoundly premature, and we used to have some of his friends over from school, and they would spend a lot of time with our animals. They would read to them, they would interact with them. And approximately, I would say maybe about between 2 and 5 years ago, I started meeting some of his friends that are now also getting in their early 20s, and a lot of them gave me feedback and said, you know, that the time they spent with my animals, or our animals actually, had made a difference in their life, and that gave them confidence and stuff like that, because they didn't get picked on and they weren't judged. And then fast forward a little bit, I was looking at properties about 1.5 years ago, and somebody asked me about the animals and about, you know, things I did with the animals, and they said to me, oh, is it a nonprofit? And I at the time wasn't so sure what that exactly entailed.
Wow, it's a nonprofit.
Yeah, and they asked me questions about the different animals and caring for them and stuff like that.
So we're celebrating an anniversary
Actually,
here.
yes.
First year that you're actually official.
Yes.
And this little guy sitting on my lap who I introduced at the beginning of the show, little Frankie, he's actually your service dog. Tell us a little bit about what Frankie does.
Frankie's my cardiac assistant service dog, and what he actually does is I have the lower left part of my heart is weakened from a bacterial and virus that I had come in contact with through patient care. And Frankie can actually detect before I become symptomatic that my heart function is dropping down. Similar to what a seizure alert dog does for somebody who has a seizure disorder.
How are they trained to do that?
Frankie actually wasn't officially trained. When I was sick, leading up to when I ended up in the hospital, he started to act really bizarre. And we thought it was because I was covering a lot more hours in the practice. I was originally in a sugar loaf practice, and my partner in the practice had to leave the area for a while and take care of some family matters. And I was away from home more. So we thought it was just the stress of me being away from home, because he had transitioned to our home from a rescue. And one day I was going up the steps and I couldn't make it up the steps. And I ended up going to the heart hospital down Geisinger in Danville. And when he would come in to see me, it was one of the staff members, actually, one of the residents noticed that about 10 minutes or so before they'd call what they call rapid response on me, Frankie would start making these really weird sounds and like spinning like a little whirling dervish really fast. Yeah. And I remember saying it, and my husband said, we were going to put him on Prozac as soon as she gets home from the hospital, because we thought he was actually like having anxiety issues or just acting out, because we're always together. And then one of the residents noticed it and said that they thought there was a correlation, possibly he was detecting something, and we started to videotape it, and lo and behold, there was a correlation. So he travels, he travels with me, we fly in airplanes together. Aww. I don't take him out of the country because I'm afraid with different quarantines and getting him back home.
So if he does start displaying those kind of behavior, what do you do?
Sit down.
Oh, okay, he just alerts you that you've had enough.
Yeah, I have a type A personality, and I'm always going and finding 50 more things that I could accomplish in the next 3 hours, and I get them done. But one of my hardest things is to stop.
Well, that explains your background, because the first time you're on our show, we were all dressed up and we were at Coordinated Help. So tell everyone about your background, what you actually do for your profession now, what you're going for, and also that you have this 501c3 as well.
Last time I was on the show, it was myself and Tazia Williams.
Right.
I was right around Mother's Day. By day, I have my Dr. Patty hat on. I'm board certified in family practice, and as of August 16th this year, I completed my doctoral degree. And
good for you.
Yes, so I am officially Dr. Patty now, which is an awesome accomplishment. On weekends, sometimes I work for the Department of Corrections, with the PA Department of Corrections, and
on your free time, you have this great country heart farm. And how did you come up with the name?
I lived in the country. This is like a really good kind of thing. It's like Who's Buried in Grant's Tomb, kind of. But I lived in the country, and I loved my animals. I love hearts, pink hearts, and it was a little farmette. So I just, Country Heart Farm. It just sounded nice. It looked nice when you wrote it down, and it stuck. So it's Country Heart Farm.
And how do you obtain the animals that you have here?
The majority of our animals come in through a rescue, or someone who knows of a situation of maybe a horse that a family's had for a long time that they can no longer care for, or it's like people become older in age and their horse is a little bit older, maybe 20 to 25 or so, even older. Some people, they can't do the jumping, they can't do the fast-paced moving, but they're still really awesome horses. So somebody will call me and we'll either sanctuary or we'll hospice, and then if I can rehab them and make them part of one of our therapeutic programs, that's the majority of how we get them.
So how does that work? Who qualifies? What do you do with them? What's the program all about?
Everything that we do is groundwork. So when somebody comes out for an equine visit, they don't have to have horsemanship skills. They don't have to know how to ride because they're not going to be doing that. It's all ground-based. It's based on the principle that everybody who comes out for a visit, I believe, as well as other people that are EGALA certified, that each individual that comes out has the answers and has the solutions within them if they have an issue or if they have a problem or something like that. And it's just a matter of getting them into a non-judgmental zone where they can take their time, process that, and through the experience, it's an experiential type of experience, that they can actually come up with those ideas and have that clarity, and then we can go through steps for them to reach their goals that they are very active and part of creating.
So give us an example of what type of a person would need this service or would benefit from it.
I have women's workshops that do anything from empowerment to maybe traumatic experiences. Veterans can come out. I have all ages and stages, children, teens. I have at-risk adolescent and teen programs. I have 12-step programs that incorporate the equine component into that. So it's limitless to who can actually benefit from the programs. I have numerous curriculums, and they can be adapted depending on the age and the need of the individual.
So it doesn't have to be a group. It could be like, say, God forbid, there's a woman who was abused.
Yes.
And she has a problem dealing with society or trusting people again, so trust issues.
Yes.
Or children who maybe have been bullied or something like that.
Yes. It could be an individual. It could be a husband and wife. I have a healthy marriage component or a marriage component that can be done. Groups, usually when I do group work, I tend to stick with 6 to 8 maximum so that we can get a lot of hands-on and they can get a lot of time. Or we do some corporate leadership, sometimes team building. People want to come out from various companies and, or groups of friends, sometimes with the high school kids, or teen groups. I have pony painting or horse painting. So I have all different varied things depending on where they are, who they are, that I customize things to their needs.
And Patty, who takes care of all the animals? Is it just you? Do you have volunteers?
I spend a majority of my morning. I get up very early, do the household aspect of my pets that I have at home, get my coffee before I even do that.
Thank God.
Yeah, there's no life before that coffee.
There's no life before coffee ever.
And ironically, I didn't drink coffee until about 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made it many decades.
And now, once you start coffee, you can't go back.
No, I get a headache if I don't know. I have one cup,
me too.
One 16-ounce cup of coffee every morning, and I'm good to go. I take care of the animals at home. I live in Sugarloaf.
They don't get coffee, though.
No, they get their kibble and their goodies.
No caffeine for the animals.
No, and then I head up here. I come up and I do the morning rounds. I check on everybody, do their morning feed, make sure they have hay, check out, make sure everybody's okay. And then I go to Coordinate Health and spend my 8 to 10 hours there. I have volunteers. I have a very dedicated group of volunteers that come up and they help me. And I will say all our volunteers, because they're not mine, it's Country Heart Farms. All the volunteers have background checks. They have the Pennsylvania State Police as well as Childline background checks. And that's for the protection of our visitors as well as our resident animals.
And Lori can appreciate that as she runs the Hazelton Community Services for Sight.
Yes, absolutely. I know the struggles of a nonprofit and everything that comes with it, and making sure that your clients, your visitors, everybody is protected. It's number one. Safety's always first.
It is.
Well, if everybody else stay tuned here and watching the girls, we'll be back. We're going to get to meet some of the animals. I'm very excited about that, as I'm sure you are as well.
Me too. Me and my little buddy over here are going over and see the horses and the goats, and I brought carrots and apples.
Oh, they'll be thrilled.
I brought treats. Stay with us. Welcome back to the girls. As you can see, we're at the most fun part of the day. We're over here with the therapy animals, and we have 2 horses, big horses, and why don't you introduce them to us?
This is Lakota, this is Cypress, and behind Janine is Thunder, the dark one, and Cypress, the little paint.
And Douglas is on a roll here with this apple.
Yeah, that's Douglas.
Douglas the goat.
Douglas with the 4 teeth has eaten half my finger and half an apple so far.
All right, so why don't you give us a little background on some of these horses, like where they came from and what you do with them?
Cypress, Lakota, and Carl, they came to us from Last Chance Ranch. Douglas and the pig Bacon also came from Last Chance Ranch. Thunder came from a place called Greenmore Farm. But the horses are the equine team. Now I break them up depending on the different types of activities or workshops. They're a herd as you see them now. This is considered our herd. But depending on the workshop, sometimes I split the herd into different pieces based on the workshop and the demographic that I'm working with. Because some do better with women. I mean, they're all good with everybody, but depending on the workshop, some are more.
Well, they're good eaters.
They're all eating everything.
Absolutely. Janine's being involved over there with little Douglas.
Douglas is harmless.
And how about the little ponies? Now, do the little kids come here and just get totally fascinated? I mean, what kid doesn't want a pony?
Believe it or not, the little kids all want to ride. They all want to see if they can sit on the big horses.
Well, I guess I'm a frustrated little kid because I want to go over and see the little ponies.
Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. And what are the little ones' names?
Carl is the little one that has the white and the brown, and Thunder is the one that's dark brown.
It's like being with a lot of kids. Oh, he took the whole thing. Give me that back.
It is. It's like being in a third grade classroom with and the majority of them have attention deficit.
So when someone comes here, what's the process?
The process is typically they'll either contact me via email or phone, or they'll go on the website and fill out a request for a visit. And then depending on who's referring them, sometimes they're referred by their mental health professional, sometimes they're referred by one of the children's service agencies, sometimes by a family practice provider. They'll put on the information on the request for a visit, and then from that point we have them fill out paperwork. Depending on the situation, like if it's a team building workshop, there's not that much paperwork for that. But if it's somebody who's coming because they've experienced a trauma or a loss, because like we have a hope and happiness workshop is more for grieving and loss, then I try and get the information of the background or the information on the background of a traumatic situation so that we work with what information we have, because you don't want to conduct a workshop when it could make the situation worse. Right. So we have language, we always use plain language, and we always use the language, like if we have a 12-step program, there's language that's used within the 12-step programs that wouldn't be used, say, if I had a team building project. We have a program that I do, it's called day camping. So if kids want to come out and have like a camping experience, we have the little fire pit, we have the weenie sticks, we do the marshmallows. Sometimes they'll even set up pup tents, like the little dome tents.
Right.
So they do their thing during the day within their 3 hours, 5 hours. It just depends how much time you want to spend, and we can go from something very simple to just a meet and greet with the animals where they would give snacks, to more interactive where they would actually do some ground on, like a ground on, hand-on workshop where they would do brushing, or they could do an activity. We have numerous activities that can be based on interaction with the animals if they want to accomplish something like skill building. I have an activity called Pony Express that I was talking to you about that earlier.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Like if we want to include like a math component or a language component or something like that, we can incorporate that into fun. We have, with the new property, we'll be able to do like cookie baking, some life skills things. It just depends. The sky's the limit, I'll be honest with you. Here at Country Heart, the sky's the limit. It's just a matter of what goals you have and how much time you have.
Right, it sounds like you will really just create it around the individuals that you're serving that day. Yes. So you don't have a very rigid program where this is what we need to stick with.
All the curriculum that I have can be adapted and modified to the individual or the group or the family or the couple.
Well, I have to tell you, for the few minutes that we've been here already,
this is fun.
I am not thinking of anything but these animals right now, because they really do get your attention. You could feel an interaction, the energy, unlike anything else that you could ever have with a human being. They just demand your attention, first of all.
And this one has only 4 teeth and could have carrots and apples. He just devoured 4 carrots and an entire apple. Didn't ya? Didn't you?
What you're seeing is herd behavior. Lakota is the head of the herd. She's the alpha mare.
Okay.
In a simple way to put it.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. And believe it or not, then comes Carl,
All right. Small and mighty, baby.
then Thunder, and then Cypress. So if there's something going on, if there's food going on, if there's hay going on, Lakota gets first pick at whatever she wants.
High five.
And then they all know the pecking order. Then they'll come in and they'll have snacks, and that can change from month to month. She's always remained in charge, but as far as the others, where they are in the hierarchy, that can change.
What about Frankie? Frankie, what happened? I thought you were number one.
He's number one in my life.
Aw, Frankie.
Okay, so now, of course, with horses and all animals, there's always the cleanup.
Yes.
Who gets to do the cleanup? Oh, hello, darling.
Actually, it's the volunteers and myself. We share all the duties that are required up here to maintain the animals.
And you have your mother here, of course. We can't forget the mom's here.
Yeah.
And what kind of a childhood did you have horses and things when you were younger?
Ponies.
Like, what made you want to, really get into the horses? I would be afraid.
I always wanted a pony from the time I can remember.
Who doesn't?
And they got me a pony named Linny, but she was not a kid-friendly pony. I think I had Linny for maybe a week or an hour, something in that aspect, and Linny went right back because she was a bucky thing and wasn't good for me. And then they found me Spotty, which Spotty looked a little bit like Carl, only black and white. And then I just was always with Spotty. And we've always had dogs and cats and guinea pigs, and we've always had animals around us, so I couldn't imagine my life without animals.
Patty, the most important thing, because we have to wrap up the show, you do accept donations. This is all volunteer work.
Yes.
Donations of your time, donations of money, donations of, you tell me.
Everything and anything. In-kind donations of time, labor, materials, animal food, gift certificates. It's all. We have
The website says everything.
our website has, yes, a wish list, and I mean, we're open. We're willing to help any way we can, and we'll accept any kind of
And you
help.
accept anybody. You don't have to live in Greater Hazelton.
No.
You can live anywhere. If you find out
Correct.
about this through the program, you could contact Patty through the website, and all the information is there. But again, donations, you know this the best.
Volunteers.
Volunteers count as donations.
Absolutely.
It's
Time
not
is
just about-
important.
Some of our most valuable resources and our most valuable donations are that of people's time.
Hey, and everyone needs volunteer hours. I know our kids need them for
That's right.
confirmation. They could come up, spend an hour with the animals.
I just
Shovel
had the
some
freshman
poop.
class from MMI over here doing community service, and it was a
love
great
it.
experience.
It's a great benefit to
Lori
all
made a
parties.
good friend right here. I think you guys have bonded.
Yes, very
She
sweet.
loves you, honey. I want to go over and
Yes.
see the little ponies.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. I think we're going to take a little tour, right?
We are. We're going to take a little tour. We're going to go over to the pony. And my friend Douglas, what's his middle name?
Douglas, he doesn't have a
Feisty.
middle.
Oh, no middle name for Douglas, because they all have great names.
He's trying to upstage Sam. He wants to be your new man.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time here on The Girls.
Bye.